The doors that swing out?
Yeah, it was come out.
Yeah, and that was the car he died in. Same car, yeah.
I think it was a Chrysler.
Yeah. It had 4 doors, right?
Yeah.
And a trunk in the back. Yeah, I remember that. You were really, really young.
Very young.
Yeah. And you remember, I remember you telling me that you saw your dad when he was dead. Remember?
What?
You saw your dad when he was dead?
I saw him. And I saw the bullet holes.
Right in his cheek?
One right here.
Yeah. He was laying out on the table?
I remember.
Yeah.
I think the guy emptied the gun on him.
Yeah.
It's funny how they got away with it, at night. Nobody hears it. Nobody sees anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dad was found with the engine running.
Yeah.
That's what the newspaper said. Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing a picture of that.
See, because my father, I know he turned in one of those guys, Black Hand.
Yeah.
One guy did, I don't know what he did to him, to my father, that he had him arrested.
I thought it was something that he was complaining. Your dad was complaining about one of the Black Hands being in the country illegally.
Yeah, something like that, I think it was.
Yeah, and they didn't like him doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he got letters with the Black Hand on it. Didn't he receive letters with a Black Hand on the letters? Isn't that what...
I don't recall right now.
I think I read it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they said he had been receiving threatening letters before he was killed.
And that's probably why he didn't take my brother with him this time.
Right, because he knew. Yeah.
He must have had an idea or a feeling.
Yeah. And you had a sister in Italy when he died, remember? She was in a nunnery. That's where Diego from California, his mother was in Italy when you were living in the United States. You had a sister you didn't know about, remember?
Yeah. My father wanted to keep her, almost like in a convent.
Right.
Keep her away from everybody. Run by nuns, I think it was.
Yeah, so she got a good education. And yeah, she was safe. She was safe that way. And you didn't find out about her till much later.
No, not much. But then when Diego over here, that's how we got to know him.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. And he translated all those letters. Remember Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah. And your dad was, what was he? The Knights of, he was Chevalier. Remember, your father got a special award from the Catholic Church for being a very upstanding citizen.
No, that I don't recall.
It's in the letters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know I was going through some of these papers now, straightening them out.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, all that mail I got in separate envelopes.
Yeah.
I was able to get rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
When I was still looking for that little article I had for the gas station.
Yeah.
I know I took it out. And I put it somewhere. And I can't remember where I put it. I looked through all here. I went twice this morning and last night, looking at, not only taking books out, but going through pages fast looking.
How bizarre is that?
And I can't find out why or where it come from.
I don't know. Yeah.
How it disappeared. The only thing I can think of is that I did take it out. And I might have laid it over there by the table. And then when the lady was here cleaning, she probably thought it was a piece of garbage and picked it up. Because it's not in the house. I know it's not in the house. Not only did I look here, I looked in the computer room, and I looked out there more than once.
That's frustrating.
I can't find it.
Maybe it'll show up later. Maybe. But you did look pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't hesitate. In fact, I went through all the books.
I know you. Yeah, you're thorough.
And I says, it's got to be somewhere. But then I says, see, that lady was here. And maybe I might have had it. I know I took it out. I kept it there all the time. This time I took it out, and I must have laid it down for some reason.
Mm.
And then while she was cleaning, she thought it was garbage and picked it up.
Mm. That's too bad. Ah, we'll find out. That's weird.
Yeah.
So when you got married, you lived in New York, right?
Yes, in the Bronx. And we worked our way up gradually.
Yeah. And was your first house near St. Michael's?
I'm pretty sure, I think that was the first one.
That was the first one.
Because I know that was 14,000.
The house? That was the one where you shared a wall.
Yeah.
And what do you call those houses?
Attached. Yeah, I know there's an expression for it. Yeah, it's two buildings, but they're separate. Or say maybe two houses attached, semi-attached.
Semi-attached.
Yeah.
Ah. That was your first house?
14,000.
That's unbelievable. And you were working as a printer when you got married?
Yeah.
And that were you doing the proofreading for Reader's Digest then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have an education. I became a proofreader.
Amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're very accurate. That's what they relied on.
They gave me the job as a proofreader.
Yeah.
And they kept me on it. In fact, I remember one time when the linotype operator finished the job, they proved it and gave it to me to read, and I found error in there. So I marked it. It was, has to be redone. So the operator didn't like the idea. So he calls the foreman. Talking to the foreman, between the two of them. Yeah. And they overruled me. They said, let the foreman do it. Believe it or not, next day, got a message. The customer complained. Wow. About the error.
Wow. What happened to the linotype and the foreman?
I don't know what they did to her. Something, they wanted to try to blame me. I told them I marked it.
Wow.
And I had no college education, no high school education.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm surprised they gave me a job as a proofreader.
Yeah. Well, you're a smart fella, right?
A fart smeller.
Yeah. And you had a boat, and tell me about the cars and stuff that you got.
Oh, the boat? I'm telling you, as a cabin cruiser. You've seen Jay's boat, motorboat?
Yeah.
Similar to that. I got pictures of it too.
Really?
And it's an inboard. You don't get wet if it rains or anything. It's not, it's not out in the open. Yeah. And I was going up and down the Hudson River with it. And one day it hit propeller. They throw a lot of garbage in the river, floating around. It dented the propeller a little bit. And I stopped one place to see if I could fix it.
Didn't you get stuck out there one time? You and Mary? Didn't you?
Yeah, we got stuck there with it, but we were able to wobble home.
Uh-huh.
Go slow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You didn't have to get rescued? I thought one time you actually had to get towed in. Didn't you have to get towed in one time?
With the car?
With the boat.
With the boat? Maybe, because I know getting back. I'm not sure whether I did it slowly or got towed.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
And how was I able to buy a boat like that?
I know. Amazing.
Today, not many people can buy one of them.
No. And you were just an ordinary person.
Yeah, it wasn't making much money.
Yeah. And you got a Cadillac, right?
Yeah, I got pictures of it.
Yeah.
And I had a Lincoln and a Packard.
Yeah. What was the car that you returned because the headlight?
Cadillac.
The Cadillac. The license plate light was out?
Yeah, something about the license plate. I brought it back. I don't want it.
And they took it back,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's amazing.
You know, the thing is, that's why I get so upset and spoiled. In those years, it was so easy to make a living,
Yeah.
buy things and do things. When we had, I had a Volkswagen, Volkswagen, German car.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work on, and I went to a mechanic for work, and he used to tell me, "You could do it. I'll tell you how." And then I used to work on it back and forth. You could do it. I'll tell you how. I go back. How do you do that? What's wrong with that? Do this. Do this. He did it.
Isn't that amazing?
But today, everything is different. People are different.
Yeah.
They're all so money. A lot of them so just money hungry. How much they can get so fast.
Yeah.
In those years, it was easy to buy. I mean, sometimes, you know, when I was working, they gave me 10 cents, take the subway and deliver a package. Once in a while, I'd take the nickel and buy a bar of candy and walk home, walk back. Why did it take you so long? What happened? I don't know.
Yeah. And you worked when you worked right in New York City, and you could park your car in New York City, right? Without any trouble.
No problems.
No trouble parking.
Everything was easy.
Yeah.
I know one time I had a problem in New York parking. I had a fight with another guy, his parking spot, this and all. And I don't know, he must have smarked me or something. Then we found out, I think we called the police, and he hit me. And I wanted to have him arrested or something like that. And he says, "You know who that is? This is Tony Poloni." You know who Tony Poloni is?
A fighter.
Professional fighter.
Yeah.
So he says, we'll see later. They try to get in touch with somebody, a cop. Somebody was out of town. And they didn't do anything about it.
Tony Poloni.
They wanted to get in touch with someone for why.
Wow. That's amazing.
I think that was around 4th Street.
In New York.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really. Yeah, I remember that story. How about the okay, this is a story. When you were in the orphanage, tell me the story about the watch. Remember the watch you got when you were in the orphanage?
The what?
The watch.
The watch?
Yeah.
Oh. Every year, they have a title, St. John's Night, something like that. And all the kids would vote for somebody who liked the best, the most. And then the priest, the Monsignor, when he came, he would give him a watch, Christmas watch. And one year they voted for me, and I got that watch from them.
Yeah, that's great.
And then when I found out, when my older brother was leaving the manual training school that was run by priests, he didn't even have a watch. So when he was leaving, I took the watch. I said, "Here, you could use it. You take it."
Oh.
I gave it to him.
That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, your 3 brothers, you were pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched out for each other.
Yeah.
But he was a heavy smoker, though, constantly. Nickel for a pack of cigarettes, I think it was.
Wow.
Very cheap.
Yeah. And you got cigarettes for free when you were in the Army, right?
Yeah, in the military, yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get free beer or free cigarettes.
Yeah. So they encourage people to smoke. Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that stuff. I didn't care for it.
Yeah. Good thing, right? That's why. How old are you now? How old are you now that you've lived such a long life?
How old am I now?
Yeah.
92.
That's amazing. Healthy. You're healthy.
Well, better off. You know, little things here and there.
Yeah.
But still feel lucky.
Yeah. You've done good. Yeah.
I get up at night maybe 4 to 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
One time at home.
Banged yourself. Yeah.
But can't complain. It's part of living.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you, I remember you told me you had a house where you put the 220 in. Remember that story?
Yeah, in fact, I think I got a picture of that house.
Do you?
And I'll tell you something about that house. When we bought that, it was up in some kind of heights.
Bedford Hills?
Bedford Hills. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
The house was $42,000.
When you bought it?
Hmm?
When you bought it?
Yeah. And I was saying, you know, it's a lot of money. This, and my wife kept saying, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. So I bought it. And we had a garage. Then we had a pool put in. And I built something in the back, some stands to put the lawnmowers and things. And I had to have a 220 line in a garage for something. There's a 220. That's how I went to get somebody to do it. He says, you could do it. You could do it. I said, you tell me how? I said, sure, I'll tell you what to do. Do this, this. I did it. Didn't blow a fuse or anything.
Yeah, so people were more helpful.
Oh, in those years, it's true. People were helpful. And even when I bought the Cadillac, I noticed the license plate, something I didn't like the way the wire was or something. I took it back, gave it back to the dealer.
Yeah. You can't do that today.
No.
They won't take the car back.
And people were helpful. Like I told you, the one that kept telling me, you could do it, you could do it. I had a Volkswagen. Something was wrong. You could do it, you could do it. I still got something left over from the Volkswagen.
That's amazing. Yeah.
People were so helpful in those years, too.
Yeah.
But today, it's...
Yeah.
Things were inexpensive. Well, that's what I can't understand. You get the same goods today for a hell of a lot more money. Why? Where's it coming from? It's constantly... It's an average person. It's difficult to make a living. Buy a home, raise a family.
Yeah.
It's not easy today.
No, and you and Mary, you guys managed to do that.
Yeah,
know?
in my days, everything was so easy to get.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And people were more helpful, too.
Yeah. Used to get... And remember Mike had a car and you told him just leave it?
Yeah.
You could just do that. You could just...
See that buzzer I got there now?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised if you know what I paid for it.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think it was marked wrong. I saw this. I said, gee. I know it was very, very cheap. And I still have it. It works good.
That's unbelievable.
It was about 60 different tunes.
Yeah. Yeah. You got that before you moved to Florida, right? Did you get that in Florida or New York?
You know, I bought that before Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, because I remember I went back to the store with it. Yeah, that was way in upstate New York.
That's amazing. It still works.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how many years do you think, how old do you think that is?
How many years I retired?
No, how many years old do you think that is? That the door buzzer.
In those days,
I think it's 20 years old.
it must have been in my 20s.
Wow.
Let's see, I got married in 48. Born 1919.
Yeah. So you were born 1919. Both you and Mary were born the same age then.
Yeah.
Because she's a little bit older than you. She was July, and you're December.
Yeah.
And you didn't always celebrate your birthday, right? On the right day. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry?
When you were in the orphanage, they celebrated your birthday on December 23rd, right?
Well, I celebrated. Nobody else did.
But everyone thought your birthday was the 23rd, right?
23rd, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and then you looked at your birth certificate, right? And you saw that it was the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. And you were born in Reggio Calabria, am I pronouncing it right?
Fu Vincenzo Villa San Giovanni Reggio Calabria.
Yeah. And Mary was born literally across the ocean from you. You know, from Reggio Calabria, you could see her village.
Yeah?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? You guys were born, and you could probably wave to each other when you were a little kid. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really something, you know, when you think of years ago, everything was so, let's say, beautiful. Living was so easy.
Yeah.
Buy things, cars, houses, whatever it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
But today, you even have trouble buying a car.
Yeah, especially a house, too.
Yeah, today. It's I don't know what you say, unbelievable or whatever. The prices are so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, I know. You've seen a lot of changes. I mean, you've been around since 1919, and we're 1912. I mean, we're 2012, right? Almost 100 years. You've been seeing a lot of changes, right?
Yeah. I was able to do a lot and get a lot because it wasn't expensive.
Right. Yeah. The wages.
Everything was easy to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if I can go buy a car and then tell them I don't want it, nobody gets angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people, if you need help, I'll tell you what to do. No charge. People were different too.
Yeah. Sad to see the changes. Yeah. Greed. It's greed.
That's what it is. It's greed. Things, as years go by, everything is just getting worse and worse and worser.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that's why I keep thinking, years ago it was so easy to make a living. The way, even when I was an errand boy, you know, with nickels and dimes, and nobody hit you or yell at you for something. When they knew I was very late, I didn't get punished for it. Because I spent my nickel for a bar of candy.
Yeah, isn't that neat? They didn't really
You used to get a Powerhouse bar.
Was it a Powerhouse?
It was about that long. Chocolate.
For a nickel. Wow. So you liked your chocolate back then.
Yeah. It was a big bar.
Yeah.
That's why they called it Powerhouse bar.
Wow.
A nickel.
Didn't somebody, was it you telling me that somebody bought you a beer for a nickel? Didn't that happen to you?
Yeah, beers I think were around a nickel or a dime, depending on the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody buy you a beer when you were young?
Yeah, one of these, that's a brother of one of the priests in the manual. You know, they used to come there and he'd have to go to town for something. They asked me, you want a ride? Yeah, okay. Then he's going to stop for a beer. You want one?
He was one of the brothers.
A brother of one of the priests.
Oh, okay.
Say, and he used to help out.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. A nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, at that times nickels and dimes. Penny, I think newspapers, I don't know if it was a penny or 2 cents, something like that. Then they might have gone up to 3 cents.
Wow.
And when we was in the home, we see the newspaper delivery would yell out, "Hey, whatever it is, his name, you got an extra? You got an extra?" Means if he had one paper too many, here.
Wow. Isn't that neat?
Yeah, we used to have them. You got an extra?
That's great.
And they'd give it to you, here.
Wow. How things have changed.
That's why, when I think of how easy it was to make a living, and people themselves were so easy, helpful and friendly. Especially the guy at the car repair place. You could do it. I'll tell you how. You could do it. He always said, you could do it. You could do it.
And he was losing business. By doing that, he was losing business.
Yeah.
And he was willing to do it.
Right.
That's awesome.
People were different.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as time goes by, they're getting worse and worse and worser.
And worser. Yeah.
It's really something, But a lot of people can't think and remember what happened years ago. They don't know the difference.
No, I know. Yeah. Well, they haven't seen what you've seen. I mean, you've seen all these changes.
Yeah, I actually went through it, and I still remember a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I told this stories to some people, they probably wouldn't believe it.
No, they wouldn't.
They
No.
say, "Oh, that's you kid."
Yeah. And people were so willing to help you out.
Yeah.
And
there was no fighting over things when you wanted to buy them or something.
Yeah.
See that the thing I bought with the lights? It was marked wrong, and it was cheap too.
That's unbelievable.
Because they used to mark things with a pencil.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't the computers either back then to keep track of everything.
No, when computers come out, that's when I retired.
Right. Yeah. And you belonged to, what was the name of the union? The union?
ITU.
ITU.
International Typographical Union. They're still in business.
It's amazing.
International Typographical Union. There was something else you asked me about, initials.
CCI.
TCI?
Is it no CCI?
No.
Communication.
Traffic. ITU. No, ITU is International Typographical Union. ICU. It wasn't ICU.
C something. Starts with a C. Communication.
Well, that would be typographical. ITU is International Typographical Union, but that's not what it was.
No.
Something else.
Is it CW? The
Tractor.
In the beginning you did, and then what happened?
Yeah, we had tractors, but then we, as time went by, went into prime movers, trucks, faster.
Faster getting it ready to shoot?
To pull. No, when you travel.
Oh.
Originally, we went tractors. Tractors slow.
Oh, I see. So they changed it. You can put it in a...
That way you're subject to enemy fire quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That day. I want to say communication.
Yeah, there was 3 other initials I was trying to think of.
Is it CWA? CWA? Communication Workers of America?
No, this one had a C in it.
Huh. I don't know. You've gotten letters from them recently, right?
Yeah. Was it CWA?
That's what I thought.
Communication Workers of America?
Yeah, isn't it that right? That's right, isn't it?
CWA? I think it had a U in it.
You think so?
I'll probably think of it tonight.
Yeah.
International. Can't think.
Yeah, it will come across. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they put me on a machine gun because I studied planes.
See if I can get a picture of that. You want to show that piece of paper?
Yeah.
Hold it up next to your face, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get that. How's that? So these are pictures you took, right?
Yeah.
It's coming up. It's a 50 caliber, right?
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
50.
And you took every single one of these pictures. Pretty good.
Yeah. See, this is the one I was #1 man on.
That's also 50 caliber?
I was one. No, this is a 50 caliber machine gun.
What's the one that you were #1 on?
Well, this they put me on because I studied planes. But when we were fighting, this is the one I fired.
Okay.
I was the guy who opened and closed the breech block and put the primer in and fired it.
Wow. And that affected your hearing, you think, right?
Oh yeah, because I'm right, right where it fires, this far away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to go. You know, I couldn't go like this. I had to go.
Wow. Did you know that you were risking your hearing at the time? Did you know that?
No.
You had no idea.
No,
You were young.
I know. Lots of other guys used to yell at me, "Why don't you let me know you're fire?"
Interesting. But it's pretty, I mean, really considering you hear pretty good. I mean, considering you were exposed to that, you have pretty good hearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's some shell, you know. It's about this long, fat.
Oh, yeah, big thing.
It's not a bullet.
Yeah, how long would it take you to load it, would you say?
Well, what happened, the way it do it, I open a breech block, and then there's a tray. There's 2 men, one on each side of the tray. The shell is on there. They bring it up to the breech block, hold it, and then there's 2 other guys that got a long pole with a big brass metal. They push the shell in there and bang it in a couple of times, make sure it sticks, don't fall out.
Yeah.
And then someone else comes in, puts a powder charge in. Could be a supercharge or a regular charge. Big bags of powder, you know. And then I'm the one who puts the primer in. It's like a little bullet. I put the primer in and then fire it when necessary, or when it's told, or when I have to. And naturally, I can't go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the other guys, sometimes they yell at me because they didn't have time to do it.
Who would adjust the height? Like when you would get a call, you need to adjust the height because you weren't getting the target. Who would make those adjustments?
The adjustments?
Yeah, you know how you have to make sure that you've got the right angle?
Oh, yeah.
Was that you?
No. I think we had a lieutenant or sergeant for some of that. Because you have to adjust barrel this way and this way. This way for distance, and this way for accuracy mostly.
Right.
So elevation and side root.
So if somebody would get a telephone call, you guys need to adjust your...
Yeah, they had to have, earphones on. And this way you could make the adjustments this way, that way, so it knows where to fire.
Right.
And the shell had a timer on it too, if you want.
Oh, really?
You can set it for a time, so that if you want, sometimes you want the shell, you don't want it to hit and blow up. You want it to blow up, fire in the air, so everything goes down on the ground. So those in holes too can get hit.
You want it to explode while it's airborne.
Yeah, both ways.
So who's this coming on the camera right now?
Hey, how we doing there, buddy?
He's missing
I know
you.
you want to lick my nose, but you're not going to. Okay?
What's his
Do
name?
you want something? Huh? You had your dinner, right? But you're trying to tell me something. What is it? Oh, you've been ignored, huh? Is that what it was? Okay, sit down. Sit down. Shake hands.
What's his name, Cosmo?
Fritz?
Fritz Delfino.
Okay.
He's your new best friend.
He's been neglected.
I know. He's been a good boy. He's been listening patiently. I think we're about running out of time here. I'm going to shut the camera off because I think we're